I'm Christmas Abbott, and you are watching Snatches and Scotch, brought to you by Sweater X magazine.
And welcome back to another episode of Snatches and Scotch. I am your host, Sylvie Bona, with my co-host, Dr. Adam Wade, and Johnny 6 blocks behind the camera. We are here at CrossFit Toronto, joined by Christmas Abbott, brought to you by Sweater X magazine. You can check all of our content on our YouTube channel and sweaterxmag.com. We're here discussing how to live like a badass, growing that booty, and it's going to be an awesome conversation. Stay smooth. All right, so we're here at Christmas, and we just want to talk about like a lot of things that have been happening. Everyone knows what Christmas Abbott is, pretty much, and there's a lot of cool things that people don't know that are happening. This girl is constantly evolving and growing and just bettering herself, and like I said earlier in our intro podcast, just absolute inspiration. So how did your journey start? Because you know, short and sweet. For the most part, people know your story, but like some people might not. You didn't always look this great, this jacked.
You know, I just hang out in gyms, just wearing stilettos, and
this is the norm, right?
Yeah. Really, how? You know, it's such a broad question because my story really started because I was a product of my environment when I was a kid, and I didn't know that there was something better out there for me. And I discovered that when I went to Iraq, and you know, you get put in a war zone, and you're like literally a couple hundred feet away or meters away. You're getting bombed, and you start to look at why am I one in this camp and doing what I'm doing? Two, what else am I doing to be destructive in my life? And then you just start, you start questioning yourself of those bigger questions, like, what, like my purpose here in Iraq, my purpose in life, and you start to make different changes, because once you see it as there is a bigger purpose and you want to find the reason versus just I'm gonna go through my life partying and whatever happens, that shift is really, really powerful, and that's really where it all kind of started to change for me. And not in the sense of, oh, I'm gonna be the best fitness person ever and do all these amazing things, but really it just came down to wanting to make better decisions for myself. And start building that self-worth, because I didn't value myself at all.
Awesome.
So as far as sequencing of things, like once you came back from Iraq, first thing was bought the gym. Did you join a CrossFit first? Like I think everyone, anyone who follows you on Instagram, they know you own CrossFit Invoke, right?
Right.
That's yours. But did you join a CrossFit gym first? Like what was sort of the evolution of that?
I consider myself a second generation CrossFitter. So there was Greg Glassman who taught, Nicole Carroll, Eva T, like all of the greats. And then I discovered them via the internet. But I started doing CrossFit almost 10 years ago. Yeah. So when I started doing CrossFit, the environment that I was in didn't have a CrossFit. Everything I could learn was self-taught. And then when I finally came home a couple of years later, I'd been doing it by myself, and then with a couple of the special forces guys that I'm still close with.
Sweet.
Then when I came home, there was maybe one CrossFit in every major city. It wasn't rampant like Starbucks now. Yeah. I joined a gym, but I had already taught myself everything. So I just kind of went into my own garage and did it. And then eventually I just opened my own, which was CrossFit Invoke a couple of years later, because I loved the sport so much, and then I love the business aspect. Don't open a freaking CrossFit gym if you don't love the business aspect, or have somebody that's a partner savvy enough in the business aspect to run that for you. People think that you just open the door and you coach and they give you millions of dollars. Does not happen.
Look at me, I'm awesome. Come work out in my gym.
Yeah. So you got to be really smart about opening one now. And then it just I got forced into competition.
Sure.
Everything that I love in my life.
Forced in competition? You seem pretty competitive to me.
I didn't know that. I didn't have that competitive edge.
Really?
I didn't play sports growing up, so I didn't know. I thought competition was like the UFC fighting. I'm going to take you down, you know? I didn't know that it was really about what you can provide and do for yourself and push to your own limits. And so my friend literally signed me up, made me go work out, and he was like, just go have a good time. It's not about the numbers. And I loved it. And that's when I discovered my little monster.
The beast within.
Yeah.
So what about the nutrition stuff? You've come up with a book, The Badass Body Diet.
I love it.
And we talked about that in the intro, and I love the fact that the biggest thing I think you do, in my opinion, is inspire people to be the best version of themselves. And that's my passion in life. My passion is I want to help people be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And you're doing that. And you're doing that in a variety of ways. But with this book, you talk about living the badass lifestyle, body image, loving your body. Let's vacuum naked.
I mean, honestly, being a badass isn't about like shooting guns and having ripped abs or whatever. It's about being confident when you walk into a room, you take over.
Yeah.
Like you're that lion or lioness. And that's what I tell my athletes. I'm like, you're a lioness. Like you're the baddest bitch in here. And like, it doesn't have to necessarily be true for the numbers and statistics or the body image, but as long as you own that confidence, then you are the baddest bitch there.
Absolutely.
And it's really just about embracing all of those flaws and knowing that is what makes you perfect.
So with the book, did you just over time develop your approach to nutrition, or is this something that you just feel like it was a need because you have a lot of seminars, and was it something that you just had to like release and just put out there? First,
like I really feel compelled to tell people my story because I want them to understand that every day they wake up with the decision to change their life. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and go do like super fitness stuff. It's I'm going to make a decision today that's going to be better for me tomorrow. And that process for me is what led me into fitness and led me into CrossFit and ultimately led me into nutrition. This book was based on like 10 years of guinea pigging on myself.
Yeah.
So, and of course my athletes, and it just so happens that nutrition is one of the conduits that I get to put my message out there. But I love it because it does make people see food differently and that they have control over their bodies through food, but it's not just about the diet, or I really hate that word, but the diet, but it's really about them taking the power back, and it's their decision, and now they're accountable. People always try and find the loophole. I'm like, it's your decision. Yeah. And then suddenly they're like, oh my gosh.
So wait, you're saying that you can't just be a success overnight? You can't just kind of put shit out there and like expect it to be awesome?
It's funny. People are like, oh, you're popping up everywhere. I'm like, yeah, bitch, I've been working on this for 10 years.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Not saying that you can't be successful overnight, but passion has no timeline. And if you love it, then you're going to always do it. And I would still be doing this whether or not one person knew who I was or a million people knew who I was. It's because I wake up every day and I'm like, thank you, Lord, for giving me this life because it's beautiful.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And your book is generally directed toward women. But what I found reading it was that it affected me quite a bit because I was talking to my brother actually on the cab ride home last night. And I was like, dude, you know what? Like, guys care about body image. I do. I know that if like my chest isn't a certain way, or if I don't look a certain way, my shirt off in the summer, if I'm going to like a beach competition, you know what I mean, like a CrossFit competition, I ain't taking my shirt off if I don't look pretty, confident or feel good about how I look. And that whole mindset that you're creating in the book, I think is it isn't gender biased, even though it is obviously, directed toward women.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Well, the book was written toward, I feel like I can really relate to the everyday woman, because I want to advocate fitness, and CrossFit works well for me. Olympic weightlifting works well for me. And ultimately I want the everyday woman who hasn't either done anything in her life or done anything in years, say, hey, look where her background was and she decided to change her life. I can do it because I haven't had that rough of a background. So the book was written to speak to women, but the diet regimen, the concept and the methodology, not just with the diet regimen, but building goals and working towards them, like having that big goal.
I
and
like the
working
progression
backwards.
you give people.
Yeah, it's
week 1, let's eat breakfast. Week 2, hey, breakfast and lunch. Who'd have figured? It's so simple. Like it's genius. I love it.
But I mean, it's the same concept, and this is when I tell CrossFitters that come into this nutrition seminar, look, you didn't go into CrossFit day 1 and doing Fran RX with the sub 5 Fran, right? That's pretty decent. That's okay, right? It's a stud. So why are you going to go into a brand new nutrition program expecting to be successful day 1 without a little bit of trial and error? The more you practice it, the better you get at anything you do. CrossFit, photography, whatever it is, diet regimen and building your plan to be successful is the same application. But we get so neurotic about wanting it now. We are so instant gratification that they have to be reminded, hey, look, this is how you layer it. This is how you succeed in it. And it takes time to build it into a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want them to change their entire lifestyle through nutrition and through confidence and through goals. And just knowing that it's okay to mess up sometimes. Just don't let that mess up derail you.
Totally. I think the big thing is about consistency, and I talk about this, or I talk to my patients about it on kind of a daily basis. You know, there aren't any quick fixes out there. I mean, it does always...
Not healthy ones.
Well, yeah, exactly. As far as I see these interesting memes pop up on like Facebook where you've got, in, say, Women's Health magazine, which I think some of them are kind of ridiculous. Half of it is, here's how to get ripped really fast. And the other half is about, here's how to be confident with yourself and forget about image so much. From what you had said 5 minutes ago, I think it's good that your whole point here is that we want people to be happy with themselves. Taking that time and putting that time into themselves as far as nutrition, it's going to make you happy about yourself, right? Having that control over your life, right? And being able to give every day, not only just women, but everyday people this is quite empowering. And I think you've done a good job with the book on this.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's always a work in progress because people are so sensitive, one, to their exterior look, but, being consistent with something builds that confidence, and that confidence bleeds into every other aspect of their life. Yeah. And, it's you're just building a good foundation to go from there. You don't build a house on sand.
Bible stuff.
Not a good one.
Yeah, right. not a good one.
Gotta build on the cliff.
The small I always tell people, celebrate the small accomplishments. Yeah, you want to move a mountain, but the way that you do that is one pebble at a time. And you have to acknowledge where you came from, and then how the small steps and goals that you've gotten to get there. And
enjoying the journey.
Enjoying the journey.
It's not about the goal. It's enjoying the journey on the way to the goal. Because if you don't enjoy your journey when you get there, then what?
Yeah, and I talk about that a lot, especially in my seminars, that I can write a perfect nutrition plan for you, but you're going to be miserable.
Oh yeah.
If you have specific goals. So what I tell people, I'm like, look, there's the perfect plan and then there's reality. Let's douse both of them together and make a potent lifestyle change.
So is your nutrition plan focused on what you do personally? Is that what you project on everybody else? Like, is it for an athlete? Is it for the everyday woman? Does it matter? Like, what is it?
No, it doesn't matter. You just have to know your goal. So I've been eating this way for the last 10 years, and I'm not going to advocate. I'm not going to advocate a way of life or a product or anything that I don't personally have used or recommend myself.
Yeah.
I just prefer to have that integrity with my work.
It's always a good thing to have.
and so I've been doing this personally. I've been applying this to my athletes personally, and started the seminar series 2 years ago, and people have had a huge success. So it spawns into the book. Now, is the book perfect? No, but I've never written a book before. So
hey, it's
this is the first time that I've tried it.
You killed it, man.
So
you killed it with that book. Holy smokes, for your first book, dude.
But it really is for like somebody that wants to do a lot of fat loss, somebody that wants to tone, tighten, tuck, and just kind of shape, or somebody that wants to build muscle. Even like a pro athlete, you can apply this it's just I do more of the hormonal balance, the balance of the macronutrients per meal, and then the emphasis on the quality scale. And I eat dairy, I eat starches, I eat grains, but I know when and how to implement them to elicit the best result.
If you balance your macros, it's automatically a self-regulating system, right? If you eat crappy food
do it properly,
if you eat crappy food, it's really hard to balance them anyway. So
well, you can't out-train a shitty diet. That's just true.
And I think the important part here about your book is, instead of advocating here's the one nutrition plan that's good for everyone, here's the blueprint as far as the bricks, right? But then here's how we can apply it based on your goals, right? So you can apply it based on people's goals, and then even lifestyle with sort of the, I don't want to give away too much, we still want people to buy the book.
You can totally talk about it.
Because it's for the minimalist one, it's here's the easiest way to do it, and then you have the other ones based on goals, right? What do you hope to achieve?
So there's 3 different body types, and then there's the minimalist, which is technically the 4th body type. But whatever body type you are with the 3 different examples I said earlier, then you just go and you don't weigh and you measure, but you're still getting this really great eating habits, and you're seeing food differently, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't, I don't eat perfectly all the time, but I'm not face down in a ditch because I decided to have a little bit extra carbs during my meal.
Sure.
But you're educating and elevating these people so they can make these decisions on them, for themselves. And now they're holding themselves accountable. And then they're proud of themselves because they're working the system without having to always reference the book.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, we have to wrap it up soon. For time reasons, she's
took a little break from the photo shoot.
Back to the photo shoot. But
we had to raise our game here just to sort of match a little bit.
Yeah.
So we don't have like CrossFit T-shirts on and then high fashion.
Got rid of my shorts and my socks.
I love it.
You don't have socks on?
No, it's bare feet, bro. It's how I roll.
Serious? Wow. Okay.
I'm not serious. Before we wrap it up, what's coming up next? Because you're doing some pretty big, really, really cool stuff. Anything you want to share and let people know about what Christmas is up to next? I have the textbook definition of ADD. Yeah. And I just love working on projects. And I've really this year I've really started to collaborate with more brands and people that I love that are in the industry that have the same purpose and vision that I do. Yeah. So a whole line of Relentless jeans coming out this winter. Just for women?
For women, well, Rich Froning has the men covered.
Damn it, Christmas.
So we can shoehorn you into a set of them.
All right.
It'll be fine.
my booty's too big. I got a badass booty, bro.
Yeah.
It's because you've been on the diet.
Yeah. Well, you've been changing his lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, not dieting.
Sorry.
I wake up every morning and I say, I'm going to be awesome today.
And then
I go on my day. So
and
what's
then the other thing that I'm really, really excited about is doing more of a lifestyle brand with Rhino Co Fitness. And we have a couple other things under the
wraps.
The quieter stuff. But I have, a handful of really cool projects that are coming out. So you're just going to have to watch. You're just going to have to watch me.
Where are we watching you for those products? Instagram, Facebook. You're huge on Instagram. Everyone loves your Instagram page.
Thank you. Yeah. I just post shit that I like.
Yeah, it's sick. It's real. It's great.
And I do all of my social media. So people are like,
wow.
Who does your social media? I'm like, I do. I can't, will not let somebody else touch it.
She does her own social media, and you have almost 300,000 followers on Instagram. Is that right?
It's
something
over,
like that.
Yeah, like three
something.
Don't shortchange yourself.
Sorry, man.
It's between.
For a person who does her own social media,
we're going to 500.
It's pretty damn special. It's impressive. Very impressive.
Oh yeah, it's like 238 right now.
Oh, is
it's
that
okay? Well, the Facebook's like
it's
3.
Okay. It's okay.
I stalk it every day, but you can find me. It's pretty easy to stalk. ChristmasAbbott.com, at Christmas Abbott on Instagram and Twitter and any other. So Fitmoo, by the way, fitmoo.com.
Yep.
So cool. It's I know I'm talking a lot. Check it out. There you go.
Fitmoo.
Or you can the link is in my bio on Instagram. So you have to go to my Instagram and then go to Fitmoo. It's really cool. You can actually go directly buy things that your favorite athlete endorse. And so it's like a one-stop shop for all your favorite athletes' favorite things.
Awesome.
Does that make sense?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I only have like 2 things on there right now, so I'm not very good at selling things.
So did you have a good time in Toronto?
I had a great time in Toronto. I love
awesome
Toronto.
City.
This is the 3rd time I've been here.
Awesome.
So it's really, really beautiful.
We're looking forward to having you back.
And we're here at CrossFit Toronto. This is every time I come into town, this is where I come and work out.
Sweet.
They probably don't remember me because it was like 7 years ago. and I was like 10 pounds lighter, but.
All right, well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And safe travels back.
Thanks.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you.